So in this video, I'm going to show you how to take off the top section of a G Tech Air Ram back. Now, I needed to send one of these in the post to somebody, and I needed to compact it for the parcel as much as possible. So the main upright there that you see, that needs to come off, and it's just a case of dismantling. I'm just going to show you how to do that because I had a few issues with it when I was doing it. There are two models in this video, so be sure to watch through to the end. It's worth watching them both because they do differ slightly. So to disconnect from that section there, you need to just spin it round, and there'll be a button at the bottom of the unit. Just press that in and just give it a little bit of a wiggle, and it will slowly come off. It'll just catch. And as you can see there, there's like a peg protruding, and the unit actually doesn't just lift up, but it lifts out. And then if you press that button there, you can just see that there's like, I'm not sure if you can see it there, but there's a little locking mechanism. So that's what's holding it to the unit. Once that's pressed, that will get released, and then you should have the two sections as pictured. We can actually take this down a little bit further as well and pull out the handle from the main shaft there. And this is done by pressing the little button there that releases the mechanism inside to make the main handle longer. But as you can see from the video, it gets to a certain point and it won't go any further. And this is because at the end of that pole that extends, there's a little green tab that locks into place to stop the unit from coming apart completely. But that's exactly what we want to do in this instance. So I got a sharp instrument and I pressed down the tab and tried to pull out the telescopic part, but it wasn't going anywhere. And this is where I made the mistake. I just assumed that if that tab was pressed in, that would slide out. It actually turns out that you need to press the button at the top and press the tab in both at the same time. Now when you do that, there's a little locking thing at the bottom, which I'll show you shortly, and that gets released. Once you press them both together, then that should slide out perfectly. And this is just to give you an idea of what that button is doing. So when that button is pressed, there's a little plastic peg that pops in and out with a button press, and then that is then letting that wand come out completely. And then that is the unit dismantled into its three main parts. So as promised, I'm also going to show you how to do it on the other model. There's a slightly different version of the G Tech Airam where the clip on the back is a little bit different and the actual pulling out of the wand is a little bit easier. So we'll go on to that. So this model, instead of having a button, has a clip, quite a robust clip that needs to be pulled out. That then unlocks the mechanism, and then that main section can be pulled out. On this particular model, the peg that holds the two sections together is shorter and thicker. There were some cases of the longer, thinner pegs breaking on some previous Air Rams. So I think that's what they've done. They've redesigned it, and they've made it shorter and a bit thicker, so they're less likely to snap on this particular model. So taking the handle apart is really easy on this model because you don't have to be pressing two clips at the same time like the previous model. It's just a case of pressing the button in, sliding out the handle. That button will then catch on the top hole, and then press that in again and the handle will come out completely. It's a very similar process to the previous model, but slightly different.